Hello there friends, and welcome to another Planet Zoo video. In this video we will be building two habitats which are very close to a large dome which will be a central part for the guest experience of the Shadow Trails. The habitats feature a lake in the middle over which the lemurs can cross and from which the many inhabitants of the larger, more secluded forest habitat can drink and even take a little dip inside if they want to. The habitats here house 4 different species, 2 of which are modded animals, but all of which are closely related to animals present in the game. The Okapi, the shy and reclusive and endangered forest dwelling giraffe, actually family of the giraffe. Also the bush pig, which is family of the red river hog and is quite close in resemblance to it. The ring-tailed lemur, probably the flagship animal of the unique country that is Madagascar. And the blue duiker. Because lately I've been getting more into adding 3 different animal types into one habitat, and not just the typical savanna animals, but animals that just share a biotope and don't necessarily have like these enrichment bonuses with each other. As we get into the speed build portion of this video, here's a quick shout out to anyone who's viewed, commented, liked, or even subscribed so far. Thank you so much. My YouTube journey has been a lot of fun. As time goes on, my content will change and evolve, but it will always be a mixture of games, music content, and just videos about my thoughts, interests in general. If by chance you're a viewer who's seen both sides of my content so far, I'd love to know. If you have any feedback as to how I can keep the channel diverse in content, but still engage you as a viewer, if you're into a specific side of this channel, definitely let me know in the comments. I want to grow and I want to evolve, but I also want to make sure I don't alienate one viewer or the other. My plans are for this channel is to be a home for my interests, my passions. Yeah, I'm really eager to show the things that I care about, and as long as this is a hobby that fulfills me, I'm going to keep pursuing it. At this point you see me constructing the dome, which will have a restaurant and shops, as I said, and the toilets, the general guest facilities. Everything inside the dome and a lot of the surrounding area will be finished by me off screen, right? I'm going to add a lot of scenery, a lot of plants, some paths, guest facilities, and I don't think it's going to make that interesting of a video. In fact, a lot of what you're seeing will change in the future because the Shadow Trail, as I've said before, will be covered for the most part by a mesh roof, which is overgrown, and it will take on a drastically different appearance, much more shadow. So it's kind of a shame. I know the lighting system in the game is great when things are lit. The dark, the game doesn't do as well. Right, here once again the amazing mud walls by Caesar Creates come to the rescue. Anyway guys, it is now the 7th of November, so we've all heard the news of the week, right? It's impossible to not talk about it. The release of Planet Coaster 2. Yeah, I'm actually very curious. I have no experience with the previous game, but the many released videos so far by other creators, some of whom also played it for the first time, make it look very crisp, very exciting, also surprisingly different from Planet Zoo. And I'm actually quite excited to give it a go. And I think that if I do get the game, I will try and make builds or content or something like it here on this channel. Though again, I am a novice, complete novice when it comes to building coasters or even the terminology of it, but just the general idea of building a theme park customized to my personal, sensitivities, it is exciting to me. Another building game that I'm definitely planning on making content of is Prehistoric Kingdom. It is a very Planet Zoo-esque dinosaur zoo game, which I have played for a little bit, not enough. The game deserves far more playing time for me actually. And I think that I would like to start sort of a franchise series or just a series where I in real time learn about the game, because it has a lot of interesting systems and of course dinosaurs, which I go crazy for. I love dinosaurs, so I'll be sure to share my thoughts about that side of me. Yeah, coming in November is the zoo tour of BOLLO BOLLO, the walking tour of this zoo, with the knowledge of course that several areas of this zoo are unfinished, and I don't just mean the future, but also just aspects of the zoo that I was building and then grew tired of, and then in pure ADHD fashion moved on to the next thing. There's a very big building in here that has no roof. There's just some simple floor tiles that I was using to cover a path that I just left unfinished since the very beginning of the zoo. So you'll have to forgive me for those things if you can still see them. But yeah, a full tour of BOLLO BOLLO is coming in this month. And of course the expansion of the zoo, if my PC doesn't die before all of that, there will be a Great Apes building. There will be a mountain for the lions and other large cats of Africa, excuse me. Yeah, you Freudian slip. Elephants are coming, there's a safari coming, there's a nocturnal house coming, and then finally there's two large palaces, a black and white palace, which will be home to a black and white animal. You'll have to see which one. A PC upgrade definitely will be needed, I think, by the end of all of that. Another game that speaks to me, and that is coming very soon, Flight Simulator 2024. I don't know if that's a game you've heard about, but it is of course a flight simulation game which will feature a 1-to-1 reproduction of planet Earth. It will be a 2-scale virtual recreation of planet Earth, including all of the correct heights of buildings and land. It will feature 3D buildings and plants and even wildlife which will roam around. It will feature real-time weather. You can do missions, rescue people from the mountains. You can land on oil rigs in storms. It's a game that really excites me because I'm a bit of I just like using Google Earth to check out places all over the world. I'm okay to good at GeoGuessr, so the general idea that I can visit places in the world that I will never visit in real life is really exciting to me. So even though I know absolutely nothing about aviation, I'm willing to share what I think and what I do in that game with you. So yes, this habitat will feature, as I've said, 3 different animals: a large, a medium, and a small-sized animal. The Okapi is the most notable of the 3 because it's just an interesting animal in general. It was not known to the wider world, so to speak, until the 20th century. And like so many animals, getting into contact with mankind spelled nothing but bad news for them. By this point, they are endangered for so many reasons, being hunted, their environment, their woods are being cut, are being harvested for resources. They also generally live in an unstable area of the world politically, so they are not in a good spot. I know okapis because, here we go again, my local city zoo, Antwerp, was the first zoo to display these animals all over the world. And it is one of the most successful zoos in breeding them. So for me, the okapi was not really a mysterious animal at all. I've known this animal for all my life. And my 2-year-old daughter, who calls these things opikas, also knows them quite well. The animal is not doing great, but it is the subject of the Okapi conservation project, which is a great thing to hear, of course. And what else is there to talk about? I guess two main things. If you follow the channel in any way, you know that I'm also getting into creating music, generating music, if you will, using artificial intelligence. And it's been an interesting journey for me to, you know, use this exciting but also really scary technology. And I've had a lot of thoughts about it. I've made one video which didn't feature my full opinion about it and wasn't that extensive, but what I will say is that I think something that I would like to share with you in the future is I'm actually considering learning how to make music myself. I've downloaded already some free software to create music, but very overwhelming, very like professional, but you know, overwhelming to someone who knows nothing about it. But if I do actually make music myself, I will share with you. So far, all the music you've heard in these Planet Zoo videos has been AI generated by me. These are all original, so to speak, tracks, some of which I will release on this channel. But you know, with AI generated music comes, of course, the idea that, you know, you're not being creative, right? I'm writing the lyrics myself, but you know, and I'm describing a song, but the AI does all the heavy lifting. I want to be able to say in the future, I made this song, right? I made this. That is going to fulfill me much more. Though the sharing of AI music does fulfill a specific interest of mine, that is recreating a specific style, a specific artist. Right. Also, I've been playing a video game lately, and I was considering, the video game is Dragon Age, the Veilguard, and I was considering at first to do a let's play about it. But I realized quickly that I would have to, you know, be very committed to doing commentary, a lot of editing would be involved, and I thought that that was going to be a lot of effort for a very saturated like market, right? I think there's so many let's plays already out there, and I would just be adding from a very tiny channel, no commentary speed build. I mean no commentary let's plays, and I don't think a lot of people would really watch it. I was also considering doing like a first impressions, thoughts, but maybe already I've like missed my moment, right? I don't think how many people would watch that. That being said, I think the game is a mixed bag. It starts out very rough if you're into RPGs at all. The writing in the beginning of the game is awful. It gets better, as does the whole atmosphere of the game, but there's like an MMO feel to it that is very noticeable. And yeah, something about it. There's something about the game that is not as like fulfilling as I would have liked. But you know, if you're not into RPGs at all, this really doesn't mean much to you. Alright, very soon you will see me turn to the... Hang on, I thought I got that out, but it doesn't matter. Very soon you'll see me turn to the lemur side of the habitat. And what I cut out of that lemur speed build is the building of a lot of the climbing stuff. You will see whenever I will build for primates in this game or anything that climbs, I will turn to blueprints for 90% of what I built. It's just a weak point of mine, right? It's not something that I'm good at, and I think people have done it so well that I will use what they have, and I will share in the comments whatever I use. But the struggle here was a particular bug that's been in the game for such a long time, and I can't for the life of me figure out what I'm doing wrong. But if you build like a climbing frame that is an overpass that goes over something that is not traversable, like water or a guest area, you build up and across, and the animals can climb across, and then you sort of, you know, build a pole or something and make it go down in the other side, and the animals can climb the whole way except for entering the other side. I'm not explaining that well. I mean, like, they can climb up, over, and down, but they can't access the ground for some reason, so the overpass doesn't function. And the way I've solved this usually is somehow if you build a bridge that is flat and you make that go across, suddenly the game realizes what you're doing and the overpass functions. So it's like a weird programming glitch in the game that has at times broken my brain and frustrated me. I think the climbing system in Planet Zoo is in ways revolutionary, but also very clearly one of the most taxing things on your system. It needs to calculate the climbing of your animals every time you load your zoo, and if you by accident create something that is unexpectedly heavy on the calculations, the frame rate of your zoo will drop. Your zoo might even crash. One of my zoos, I completely destroyed its playability by including a very complicated climbing system in there, and my zoo was just, it would crash within 2-3 seconds of loading it. And yeah, even in this zoo already, since adding these climbing frames, I can feel my PC struggling a bit more with them. So yeah, that is something that I want to see in Planet Zoo 2. Besides the obvious requests, you know, people want aquatic animals, people want birds, and I think birds are a shoe-in. Birds will be in the next game, I'm certain of it. I think that the lion was the flagship animal of Planet Zoo 1. I think the parrot, or you know, a charismatic bird, will be the animal that they promote it with. I think there's no way that Frontier is not going to have birds in that game. If there aren't, I think a lot of people will be disappointed, really disappointed, including me, because I think it's so obvious that the community has wanted flying birds in this game for years. But yeah, besides from that, I think obvious things to change is more realistic guest behavior, more activities for guests beyond eating, drinking, and looking at animals. If you go to many zoos, there's educational aspects, there's playgrounds. Imagine custom built playgrounds for, you know, the kids and the young at heart in your zoo. That would be amazing. And of course, lots of the improvements from Planet Coaster 2. The pathing system from that game is such a step beyond what we have. Looking forward to playing around with that. That is it for the speed build part of this video. If you actually spent that whole time listening to me talk, thank you, or I guess I'm sorry, or maybe you muted it with music or something, but still, congratulations, you made it to the cinematic part of the video where we take a closer look at what the finished product looks like. Here we have another beautiful shot of the Okapi and the bush pigs gathering around the Okapi, doing a little poop there to the left, as the Planet Zoo animals are wont to do. So here's a look at the inside of this habitat. Deliberately, there is only really 2 viewing platforms into this habitat, and they are the viewability of this habitat is limited. That is a deliberate choice, not only because I generally like to build large habitats that have privacy for the animals, but I think the overall vibe of at least 2 of these 3 animals is that they are shy, is that they cherish their privacy, and that they deserve to be away from the guests, right? The lemurs, on the other hand, are on full display right over there. Hey, I thought I cut this out of the... Anyway, I'm gonna leave it in, right? So this is the lemur part of the zoo. This is their more modest right side of the island, which you can't really view well. And as we do the zookeeper walk across, you will see this nice, very nice blueprint climbing frame that felt just right, just the right size. The lemurs use it a lot. Of course they do some crazy glitch moves when they use it, but I like the climbing hut there. They actually use it, they sit on top and enjoy sitting in the sun there. Also the large fence there, a deliberate choice. It blocks the sunlight which will fall on the lemur habitat, but the Okapi forest will have much more shadow because it will always be in the shade automatically, and when I cover this part of the zoo there will be even more shadow. Alright, ignore all the stuff to the left, don't look at it. Right, these interesting stone structures, you can have a sort of a lucky look in here, I guess I would call it. If you're lucky, you can view the animals from there, or you can walk up here, see them pass by in front of you. There is one of the pigs trotting around. This tamarind tree blocking the view, making you walk to the next viewing platform, which is the best view, I guess, into the habitat, and which is where we will close off this video. Thank you so much for sticking around, watching any part of this video, and guys, I will see you next time. There's so much more coming, both for Planet Zoo, other games, music. I have a lot of plans. I'm enjoying myself so much, and I will see you next time, guys. Thank you.
Oh my.